Hey, Rachel.
Hey, Addie. I'm here in the Loose Gym where our very own Eagles won 83-69 against Covenant in our men's basketball header this past week. Now, the Screaming Eagles brought a huge student section, and it seems the Eagles are off to a great start this season. The men's basketball team does have an away game this weekend. However, their next away game is this upcoming Wednesday against the University of Cincinnati Claremont. I hope to see you there, and let's pack the Loose again. Let's go Eagles. With Newswatch 3, I'm Rachel Law. Back to you guys.
Hey, Allie. The event so many students have been looking forward to since last year is coming up the week after spring break. The Asbury Worship Collective live album recording will be happening. You will have two opportunities, so March 25th and 26th, to see some of your very own peers perform original songs. They've been working so hard the past semester and last semester as well. They will be performing in the Black Box Theater where I am right now. Tickets will be on sale the week of the performance, so be sure to get those in the CAF kiosk. They'll be $8. Make sure to get tickets ahead of time. You don't want to miss out. It'll be an awesome time. This is Rachel Law with Newswatch 3. Back to you, Allie. Inflation was at an all-time high this past summer, with the Consumer Price Index, or the measurement of U.S. goods and services, was at 9.1%, or the highest it's been since November of 1990.
Student athletes at Asbury University struggle with mental health, but few talk about it. While the case for some, junior Addie Smith doesn't hesitate to talk about it.
Since high school, I've been diagnosed with major depressive disorder, anxiety, ADHD, and I was anorexic for a little bit.
An athlete for many years, Smith has had time to learn coping skills.
Being an athlete, I feel like, is a big part of my life. I cheered since I was in 7th grade, so I don't remember a time where I wasn't cheering on the sidelines at practice or anything like that.
Sports psychologist Natalie Cornu shares some of the biggest issues in student-athlete mental health.
Some of the top ones would be performance anxiety, both anxiety before competition and during competition, including refocusing after making a mistake. And then lack of confidence, that's a big one.
Smith understands what these struggles are like.
Practices are really hard on your body, and then so when I'm not performing well, I get really down about myself, and that goes into like a little spiral. Then I spiral out.
Giving athletes mental skills can make the world of a difference.
We didn't have this when we were competing, and we wish we did, because we believe we would have been way better athletes had we known about all of these mental skills to help athletes when they're struggling mentally.
With student-athlete mental health declining, getting help can lower these statistics.
Have actually mentioned that they love having friends who are outside of their sport or even outside of athletics altogether, because it reminds them that they're more than just an athlete. And so they are kind of able to take a break from their sport and just hang out with someone to just enjoy other activities that they like in life.
Be sure to check on your friends and help them to get the help they need. In Wilmore, Rachel Law, Newswatch 3. With the topic of inflation surfacing to political discussions, college students at Asbury University are budgeting amidst the rising gas and grocery store prices.
Yeah, I definitely, when I go to the store, I try to look for the more cheaper product instead of buying what I normally would like, because I know that prices have gone up in the grocery stores.
With the midterm elections taking place, the question is, will inflation affect their voting decision?
Inflation was at an all-time high this past summer, with the Consumer Price Index, or the measurement of U.S. goods and services, was at 9.1%, or the highest it's been since November of 1990.
Senior Noah Brown shares inflation has affected his spending and how often he drives places due to increased gas prices.
You know, for us to go out and do things, have to pay for gas, have to pay for groceries, you know, and it's getting tougher, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough as a college student, for sure.
Students like Haley Anderson share that inflation does affect their voting decisions.
It most definitely will influence who I vote for, just based on what we've been experiencing in the past 4 years.
Sophomore Nathan Booker even had to downgrade to a smaller car.
Recently I've had to downgrade from a truck, a pretty good stature and size, to a smaller sedan just to compensate for fuel prices.
Not only are students voting with their ballots, but they are voting with their wallets as well. In Wilmore, Rachel Law, Newswatch 3.
Good afternoon, Asbury. I'm Rachel Law, and thank you for joining us for this week's campus update. Today we are in a different location than normal. Our team has collaborated with Jessamine County Tech Center to highlight some of the updates and renovations to their facility. Reporter Lucy Bryson has the top story on what the Tech Center is all about.
At Jessamine County Career.
We're so thankful for the opportunity to be here today and encourage everyone to come check it out. For another look at our location, let's go to Addie in the gaming lab.
Newswatch 3. Back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Addie. To wear shorts and a t-shirt or to not wear shorts and a t-shirt? That is the question. In the past few weeks, Kentucky weather has gone back and forth, being hot one day and cold the next. Chief forecaster Lucy Bryson has the latest on what weather on campus is looking like this week.
Back to you guys.
Thanks, Lucy. Evacuations are underway in the city of Mariupol, Ukraine, as Russian attacks continue. While visiting Poland over the weekend, President Joe Biden's remarks about Russian Vladimir Putin caused global reaction. Chris Nguyen has the latest on the war and how the White House is clarifying President Biden's unscripted remarks.
As Russia intensifies its in Washington, I'm Chris Nguyen reporting.
In another American response to the war, the White House announced last Thursday that the U.S. will accept up to 100,000 Ukrainian refugees and provide $1 billion in support for European nations handling the massive influx of refugees. Alarming levels of dangerous chemicals have been discovered in food packaging at several fast food, fast casual restaurants, and grocery store chains. That's according to an investigation released Thursday by Consumer Reports. The chemicals, called per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAs, are used to prevent grease and water from soaking through food wrappers or beverage cups. They're often called forever chemicals because they do not break down in the environment. These chemicals are also found in the ink used to print logos and instructions on food containers. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the chemicals can harm the immune system and reduce antibody response to vaccines. They also have been linked to increased cholesterol, altered liver enzymes, certain types of cancer, lower infant birth weights, and high blood pressure in pregnant women. To reduce your risk of exposure, experts say you should take food out of the container as soon as you receive it and never reheat food in its original container. They also suggest reducing the frequency of takeout meals to once a week or less. Let's take a look at sports news now. Here's Asa with the latest.
Today, back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Asa. The 94th Academy Awards are in the books. There were no big surprises, at least in terms of who took home trophies. But the evening's most memorable moment had nothing to do with an award. It was the slap scene round the world. After Oscar presenter Chris Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife, Jada, referring to her as G.I. Jane, which was a low blow about her recent hair loss. Smith then went up to the stage and slapped Rock, and the two started yelling. Smith then returned to the stage later that night to claim the Best Actor Oscar for King Richard, with a speech that seemed to encompass both his on- and off-screen roles. Following the altercation, the Academy tweeted, "The Academy does not condone violence of any form. Tonight we are delighted to celebrate our 94th Academy Awards winners who deserve this moment of recognition from their peers and movie lovers around the world." Rock is not pressing charges against Smith, and Smith released an apology to Rock via Instagram yesterday. A blind 11th grader never imagined she'd create this much excitement with her basketball skills, but with one fell swoop, she's soaking it all up. Matt Whitcoast sat down with the Michigan high schooler to talk about the shot and the program that made it happen. Jules says before the game she missed some of her practice shots, but when she scored, she says she felt like God was there. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in and trusting us to give you your weekly campus update. News by the students for the students. For Newswatch 3, I'm Rachel Law. To all of Asbury, have a wonderful day.
Good afternoon, Asbury. I'm Lucy Bryson.
And I'm Rachel Law, and we want to welcome you to Newswatch 3. In today's top story, election season is approaching and Asbury students are prepared to participate. Newswatch 3's Haley Anderson has more.
Kentucky Eagles.
As fall sports come to a close, winter sports take us inside to start their seasons. Newswatch 3's live reporter Madison Anderson is standing inside the Luce Center to tell us more. Hey, Maddie.
Back to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Maddie. I know I am excited to pack the Luce and cheer on the Eagles this season. Last weekend, Asbury students took a trip down south to the Sunshine State. Newswatch 3's Noah Clark has more.
Well, Rachel, you know that only means one thing, right?
Of course.
It means that on the 26th, we're going to have to get a group of people and head to Louisville and get some Krispy Kreme donuts.
That sounds good to me. Those two companies together is an absolute match made in heaven.
definitely agree.
Thank you for tuning in to Asbury's Newswatch 3 this week.
And trusting us to give you your campus news. We'll see you next time.
Stay classy, Asbury.